There's a quiet crisis unfolding in doctors' offices across America. And if you're over 60 with diabetes, you need to know about it right now. Nearly 70% of seniors with diabetes are walking around with dangerous vitamin deficiencies that their doctors either don't test for or completely misunderstand. These aren't just minor shortages we're talking about. These are deficiencies so severe they're accelerating diabetic complications, weakening your immune system, and stealing years from your life. Here's what they don't tell you about managing diabetes after 60. The standard medications, the constant glucose monitoring, the dietary restrictions, they're only addressing half the problem. Meanwhile, 3 specific vitamins are quietly working behind the scenes to either protect your body from diabetic damage or allow that damage to spiral completely out of control. The shocking part? Most doctors have no idea which ones actually matter for diabetics, which ones can be dangerous, and which doses are safe for people your age. But here's the real kicker. The vitamin industry has turned senior diabetics into cash cows, pushing expensive multivitamins loaded with nutrients that can actually make your blood sugar worse. Some of the most popular senior formulas contain ingredients that interfere with your diabetes medications or spike your glucose levels without you even knowing it. The truth buried in the latest research shows that 3 specific vitamins, taken in precise ways, can dramatically improve your diabetic outcomes while protecting you from the hidden dangers lurking in those pharmacy aisles. I'm going to reveal the top 3 vitamins that research shows can be game changers for senior diabetics. But first, let me ask you this. Drop a comment and let me know your age and what state you're watching from. I want to know how many of you have been told by your doctors that vitamins don't really matter for diabetes management. Now, before we dive into the life-changing vitamins you should be taking, we need to talk about the dangerous ones you need to avoid. Number 2 on this list will shock you because it's probably sitting in your medicine cabinet right now, marketed specifically to seniors. And number 1, it's so commonly recommended by well-meaning friends and family that you've probably considered taking it yourself. But for senior diabetics, it can be downright dangerous. The third vitamin you need to avoid if you're a diabetic over 60 is iron supplements. Yes, iron. The very mineral that's pushed on seniors for energy and vitality can actually accelerate diabetic complications in ways that will make your blood run cold. Here's why this matters for your body. When you have diabetes, your blood sugar creates oxidative stress, essentially rusting your blood vessels and organs from the inside out. Iron acts like gasoline on that fire, speeding up the oxidation process and accelerating damage to your kidneys, eyes, and heart. Research from major medical centers suggests that seniors with diabetes who have excess iron in their bodies show significantly higher rates of diabetic complications. The mechanism is straightforward but devastating. Iron catalyzes the formation of hydroxyl radicals, the most destructive free radicals your body can produce. These radicals tear through your blood vessels, damage your nerve endings, and destroy the delicate filters in your kidneys. Let me tell you about Margaret, 72, a retired school principal from Ohio. Margaret had been managing her type 2 diabetes fairly well for 8 years when her daughter convinced her to start taking iron supplements for fatigue. Within 6 months, Margaret's kidney function started declining rapidly, and her eye doctor noticed new blood vessel damage during her routine exam. When we tested her iron levels, they were sky high. The moment she stopped the iron and started working with a hematologist to safely reduce her iron stores through controlled blood donations, her kidney function stabilized, and her energy actually improved. If you're feeling tired and thinking iron might help, here's what to do instead. Get your ferritin and iron saturation tested first. Many diabetics actually have too much iron stored in their bodies, not too little. If your levels are normal or high, focus on improving your sleep quality, managing your blood sugar more tightly, and addressing any underlying inflammation. Only supplement with iron if blood tests confirm you're truly deficient, and then only under medical supervision with regular monitoring. But iron isn't the worst vitamin mistake diabetic seniors make. Here's the kicker about the second vitamin you need to avoid. The second vitamin that's absolutely dangerous for senior diabetics is vitamin E in high doses. This one will blow your mind because vitamin E has been marketed as the ultimate antioxidant for decades, especially for people with diabetes. The supplement industry has convinced millions of seniors that mega doses of vitamin E will protect their hearts and prevent diabetic complications. The reality is exactly the opposite, and the research proving this is both shocking and definitive. Here's why high-dose vitamin E matters for your diabetic body. Vitamin E in large amounts doesn't just fail to prevent heart disease in diabetics, it actually increases your risk of heart failure by 23%. The mechanism behind this is counterintuitive but crystal clear. High doses of vitamin E interfere with your body's natural antioxidant systems, creating an imbalance that promotes inflammation rather than reducing it. For diabetics, whose bodies are already struggling with inflammatory damage, this creates a perfect storm. Studies tracking thousands of diabetic seniors found that those taking high-dose vitamin E supplements, anything over 400 international units daily, showed increased rates of heart failure, stroke, and even death. The vitamin E was actually preventing their bodies from developing natural protective mechanisms while creating oxidative stress in their cardiovascular systems. Sarah, 68, a former nurse from Texas, learned this the hard way. After her diabetes diagnosis, Sarah started taking 800 units of vitamin E daily, convinced it would protect her heart. Over 2 years, her heart function gradually declined, and she developed shortness of breath that her cardiologist couldn't explain. Her ejection fraction, a measure of how well her heart pumps blood, dropped from normal to concerning levels. When we discovered she was taking high-dose vitamin E and had her stop immediately, her heart function began to improve within 4 months. The protocol here is simple, but crucial. If you're taking vitamin E supplements, check the label right now. If it's more than 100 international units daily, you're in the danger zone. Stop taking high-dose vitamin E immediately and focus on getting your vitamin E from natural sources like nuts, seeds, and olive oil. These provide the vitamin in balanced forms with other nutrients that work synergistically, not in the isolated high-dose form that causes problems. Now, the number one vitamin that's catastrophically dangerous for senior diabetics is going to shock you because it's recommended everywhere as essential for seniors. The most dangerous vitamin for senior diabetics is vitamin B6 in high doses, specifically anything over 50 milligrams daily. This recommendation will floor you because B vitamins are pushed on seniors constantly for energy, brain function, and nerve health. The supplement industry has convinced diabetic seniors that high-dose B6 will actually help their diabetic nerve pain. In reality, it's creating nerve damage and making their diabetes complications exponentially worse. Here's the mechanism that will change everything you think you know about B vitamins. High-dose B6, anything over 50 milligrams daily, causes peripheral neuropathy, the exact same nerve damage that diabetes causes. When you combine diabetic nerve damage with B6 toxicity, you're creating a cascade of neurological destruction that can become permanent. Your body can only process about 2 milligrams of B6 daily safely. Everything above that gets stored in your tissues, where it becomes toxic. Research documenting B6 toxicity in diabetics shows that people taking high-dose B6 supplements develop numbness, tingling, and pain in their hands and feet that's identical to diabetic neuropathy, but actually much worse. The cruel irony is that many seniors increase their B6 doses thinking their worsening nerve symptoms are from diabetes progression, when it's actually the vitamin supplement causing additional damage. Frank, 75, a retired electrician from Florida, experienced this nightmare firsthand. His diabetic neuropathy was mild and manageable, until he started taking 100 milligrams of B6 daily on his doctor's recommendation for nerve health. Within 8 months, Frank's nerve pain became excruciating, spreading from his feet up to his knees and from his hands to his elbows. His balance became so poor he needed a walker. When we identified the B6 toxicity and had him stop the supplement immediately, his symptoms began improving within 6 weeks, though it took nearly 2 years to fully recover. The safe protocol is straightforward. Never take more than 10 milligrams of B6 daily, and ideally get your B6 from a balanced B complex supplement rather than isolated B6. If you're currently taking high-dose B6, stop immediately and ask your doctor to test your B6 levels. Focus on managing your diabetic neuropathy through blood sugar control, alpha-lipoic acid, and proper foot care rather than high-dose vitamins that create more problems than they solve. But now let's flip the script completely. Here's how to reverse the damage and protect your diabetic body with the 3 vitamins that research proves are absolute game changers for senior diabetics. The third most important vitamin for senior diabetics is vitamin K2, specifically in the MK7 form. This vitamin is so misunderstood that most doctors don't even know it exists. But for diabetic seniors, it's literally the difference between healthy aging and diabetic complications spiraling out of control. Here's why K2 matters specifically for your diabetic body after 60. Diabetes doesn't just raise your blood sugar. It accelerates calcium buildup in your arteries while simultaneously weakening your bones. A double disaster called the calcium paradox. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director in your body, ensuring calcium goes into your bones where it belongs and stays out of your arteries, where it causes heart attacks and strokes. The mechanism is precise and powerful. K2 activates 2 proteins, osteocalcin, which pulls calcium into bones, and matrix GLA protein, which prevents calcium from depositing in your arteries. Without adequate K2, these proteins remain inactive, and calcium goes to all the wrong places. Research tracking diabetic seniors shows that those with higher K2 levels have significantly stronger bones, cleaner arteries, and lower rates of heart disease and fractures. The data suggests that K2 supplementation can reduce arterial calcification in diabetics by up to 30% while improving bone mineral density. Linda, 69, a retired librarian from Michigan, discovered K2's power when her bone density scan showed severe osteoporosis despite taking calcium supplements for years. Her coronary calcium score, a measure of artery calcification, was dangerously high. We started Linda on 100 micrograms of K2 MK7 daily along with vitamin D3. Within 18 months, her follow-up coronary calcium score showed no progression, unusual for a diabetic her age, and her bone density actually improved for the first time in years. Here's your K2 protocol. Take 100 to 180 micrograms of vitamin K2 in the MK7 form daily, with a meal containing healthy fats for absorption. Always take K2 with vitamin D3, as they work synergistically. If you're on warfarin or other blood thinners, work with your doctor to monitor your INR levels, as K2 can affect blood clotting. Get your K2 from grass-fed dairy, fermented foods like natto, and a high-quality MK7 supplement from a reputable manufacturer. The timing matters too. Take your K2 with your largest meal of the day, preferably one that contains healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. This maximizes absorption and ensures the vitamin gets to work directing calcium traffic in your body throughout the day. Now, the second most crucial vitamin for senior diabetics will surprise you because it's not typically associated with diabetes management at all. The second most important vitamin for senior diabetics is vitamin D3, but not in the tiny doses most doctors recommend. We're talking about therapeutic doses that actually move the needle on your diabetic outcomes, doses that most physicians are afraid to prescribe because they don't understand the latest research on D3 and diabetes. Here's what changes everything about how you should think about vitamin D and diabetes. Vitamin D isn't really a vitamin at all. It's a hormone that controls over 3,000 genes in your body, including the genes that regulate insulin sensitivity, inflammation, and immune function. For diabetic seniors, adequate vitamin D levels can mean the difference between blood sugars that spiral out of control and blood sugars that respond predictably to medication and lifestyle changes. The mechanism will reshape how you think about diabetes management. Vitamin D receptors exist on your pancreatic beta cells, the cells that produce insulin. When you're D deficient, These cells can't produce insulin efficiently. Vitamin D also activates genes that make your muscle and fat cells more sensitive to insulin, essentially making your existing insulin work better. Additionally, adequate D levels reduce the chronic inflammation that makes diabetes worse over time. Research from endocrinology centers shows that diabetic seniors with vitamin D blood levels above 50 nanograms per milliliter have significantly better blood sugar control, fewer diabetic complications, and lower rates of infections. The data suggests that optimizing vitamin D levels can reduce hemoglobin A1C levels by an average of 0.5 percentage point, which translates to dramatically reduced risk of complications. Robert, 73, a retired mechanic from Arizona, experienced this transformation personally. Despite following his diabetic diet religiously and taking his medications as prescribed, Robert's A1C remained stubbornly above 8%. His vitamin D level was 12 nanograms per milliliter, severely deficient despite living in sunny Arizona. We started Robert on 5,000 international units of D3 daily and monitored his levels monthly. As his vitamin D climbed above 50, his blood sugars became much more stable, his energy improved dramatically, and his A1C dropped to 7.2% within 6 months. Your D3 protocol depends on your starting level, but most diabetic seniors need between 3,000 and 5,000 international units daily to achieve optimal levels. The key is testing, not guessing. Get your 25-hydroxy vitamin D level tested before starting supplementation. Then retest after 3 months to ensure you're reaching the target range of 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. Take your D3 with a meal containing healthy fats for maximum absorption. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, so taking it with olive oil, nuts, or avocado significantly improves uptake. Always pair D3 with vitamin K2 to ensure calcium metabolism stays balanced. If your starting level is very low, work with a healthcare provider who understands therapeutic dosing rather than trying to guess the right amount. But here's the vitamin that research shows is the absolute game changer for senior diabetics, the one that can literally reverse years of diabetic damage. The number one most important vitamin for senior diabetics is magnesium. Specifically informs that your aging digestive system can actually absorb and use. This mineral is so crucial for diabetic seniors that deficiency virtually guarantees your blood sugar control will be poor, your complications will progress faster, and your medications won't work as effectively as they should. Yet 80% of diabetic seniors are walking around with inadequate magnesium levels. Here's why magnesium is absolutely critical for your diabetic body after 60. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, including every single step of glucose metabolism. Without adequate magnesium, your cells cannot take up glucose efficiently, your pancreas cannot secrete insulin properly, and your body cannot repair the cellular damage that diabetes causes. Additionally, many diabetes medications, especially diuretics and proton pump inhibitors commonly prescribed to seniors, actively deplete your magnesium stores. The research on magnesium and diabetes is overwhelming. Studies show that diabetic seniors with optimal magnesium levels have better blood sugar control, lower rates of heart disease, reduced diabetic neuropathy, and significantly fewer episodes of dangerous blood sugar swings. The mechanism involves magnesium's role as a natural insulin sensitizer, essentially making your body's insulin work more effectively while protecting your blood vessels and nerves from diabetic damage. Here's the protocol that can change everything about your diabetes management. Most diabetic seniors need between 300 and 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium daily, but the form matters enormously. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest and most common form, is poorly absorbed and often causes digestive upset. Instead, look for magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, or magnesium citrate, forms that your aging digestive system can actually utilize. Dorothy, 78, a retired teacher from Pennsylvania, discovered magnesium's power when nothing else was working for her diabetes control. Despite perfect compliance with her medications and diet, Dorothy's blood sugars were erratic, swinging from dangerous lows to concerning highs throughout the day. Her muscle cramps were so severe she could barely sleep, and her energy was non-existent. When we tested her magnesium levels, they were critically low. We started Dorothy on 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, taken in divided doses with meals. Within 3 weeks, her blood sugar swings stabilized, her muscle cramps disappeared, and her energy returned to levels she hadn't experienced in years. Take your magnesium in divided doses with meals to maximize absorption and minimize any digestive effects. Start with 100 milligrams twice daily and gradually increase to your target dose over 2 weeks. If you experience loose stools, reduce the dose slightly or switch to magnesium glycinate, which is gentler on the digestive system. Never take magnesium with calcium supplements, as they compete for absorption. Space them at least 2 hours apart for maximum benefit. The timing of your magnesium supplementation can enhance its benefits for blood sugar control. Take 1 dose with breakfast to support steady glucose levels throughout the day, and take a second dose in the evening, as magnesium also promotes better sleep quality, which is crucial for diabetic seniors since poor sleep worsens insulin resistance. Now let's talk about something that will change how you think about vitamin absorption after 60. Your aging digestive system doesn't process vitamins the same way it did when you were younger. The stomach acid that breaks down vitamins decreases with age. The enzymes that activate nutrients become less efficient, and medications commonly prescribed to seniors further interfere with vitamin absorption. This means the standard recommended doses of vitamins are often inadequate for seniors, especially those with diabetes. You're not just dealing with increased nutritional needs from the disease process, you're also dealing with decreased absorption from the aging process. It's a double challenge that requires a smarter approach to supplementation. For example, the B vitamins we discussed earlier need adequate stomach acid for absorption. If you're taking proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole or lansoprazole for acid reflux, you're likely not absorbing B vitamins effectively from either food or supplements. This is why many seniors develop B vitamin deficiencies, despite eating balanced diets and taking multivitamins. The solution isn't to avoid acid-blocking medications if you need them medically, but to be strategic about when and how you take your vitamins. Take your B-complex supplement with a meal, and consider adding a digestive enzyme containing betaine HCl to help break down and absorb the nutrients. Some seniors benefit from sublingual or liquid forms of B vitamins that bypass the digestive system entirely. Here's another absorption issue that affects diabetic seniors specifically. High blood sugars damage the lining of your small intestine over time, reducing your ability to absorb fat-soluble vitamins like D, K, and E. This creates a vicious cycle where poor vitamin status worsens blood sugar control, which further damages absorption, leading to even worse vitamin status. Breaking this cycle requires both better blood sugar control and strategic supplementation timing. Take your fat-soluble vitamins with your largest meal of the day, one that contains healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, or avocado. The fat stimulates bile release, which is essential for absorbing these vitamins. Consider adding a digestive enzyme that includes lipase, the enzyme that breaks down fats, if you have a history of digestive issues. The mineral absorption story gets even more complex for diabetic seniors. Diabetes medications, especially metformin, the most commonly prescribed diabetes drug, interferes with B12 and folate absorption. Diuretics prescribed for blood pressure or heart failure flush out magnesium, potassium, and zinc. Statins for cholesterol can deplete coenzyme Q10. The medication regimen that's keeping you healthy might simultaneously be creating nutritional deficiencies that undermine your health. This doesn't mean you should stop taking necessary medications, but it does mean you need to be proactive about replacing the nutrients these medications deplete. If you're on metformin, you need B12 monitoring and likely supplementation. If you're on diuretics, you need attention to magnesium and potassium levels. If you're on statins, consider CoQ10 supplementation to support heart and muscle function. Let me share a story that illustrates how these medication nutrient Interactions can completely derail a senior's health without anyone connecting the dots. James, 71, a retired postal worker from Oregon, was the picture of medication compliance. He took his metformin religiously, never missed his blood pressure medications, and followed up with his doctors regularly. Yet over 2 years, James developed progressively worsening fatigue, memory problems, and nerve pain that everyone attributed to aging or diabetes progression. When we finally tested James's nutrient levels comprehensively, we discovered severe B12 deficiency from his metformin, magnesium depletion from his diuretic, and CoQ10 deficiency from his statin. Once we addressed these deficiencies with targeted supplementation, James's energy returned, his memory sharpened, and his nerve pain improved significantly within 3 months. The medications weren't the problem, the unaddressed nutrient depletion was. Here's what you need to know about testing for vitamin and mineral status as a diabetic senior. Standard blood tests often miss deficiencies because they only measure what's circulating in your blood, not what's actually available in your cells where the nutrients do their work. For B12, ask for both serum B12 and methylmalonic acid levels. Methylmalonic acid is a more sensitive marker of functional B12 deficiency and will catch problems that serum B12 misses. For magnesium, request a red blood cell magnesium level rather than serum magnesium, as most of your body's magnesium is inside cells, not floating in your blood. Vitamin D testing should include 25-hydroxyvitamin D, the storage form that reflects your overall vitamin D status. Don't settle for the active hormone form called 125-hydroxyvitamin D, as this can be normal even when you're severely deficient in the storage form. For iron, you need more than just a basic iron level. Request a complete iron panel including ferritin, iron saturation, and total iron binding capacity. This gives you the full picture of your iron status and prevents both deficiency and overload. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room that most doctors won't address directly. The vitamin industry specifically targets seniors with products that are often inappropriate, poorly absorbed, or downright dangerous for people your age. Those senior-specific multivitamins contain iron that most seniors don't need, calcium without the cofactors needed for absorption, and B vitamins in forms that aren't well utilized by aging bodies. The marketing preys on your fears about aging and promises unrealistic benefits from generic formulations. The truth is that senior nutritional needs are highly individual, especially if you have diabetes. Your medication regimen, your digestive health, your kidney function, and your specific diabetic complications all influence what nutrients you need and in what forms. A quality approach to supplementation for diabetic seniors starts with testing to identify your specific deficiencies, then addresses those deficiencies with targeted, high-quality supplements in forms your body can actually use. It's not about taking everything that might help. It's about taking the specific nutrients you actually need in the right doses and forms. Let's discuss the timing strategies that can maximize the benefits of vitamin supplementation for diabetic seniors. When you take your vitamins is almost as important as what vitamins you take, especially when you're managing multiple medications and blood sugar fluctuations. Morning is ideal for energizing nutrients like B vitamins and vitamin D3. These nutrients support energy production and mood regulation, so taking them early helps you feel more alert and positive throughout the day. Take these with breakfast to enhance absorption and prevent any potential stomach upset. Evening works better for calming minerals like magnesium. Magnesium promotes muscle relaxation and better sleep quality, both crucial for blood sugar control. Take your magnesium dose about an hour before bedtime with a small snack containing healthy fats. For vitamin K2, timing with your largest meal maximizes absorption since it's fat-soluble. This is usually lunch or dinner for most people. Taking K2 with food also ensures you get the bile stimulation needed for proper absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. Space calcium and magnesium at least 2 hours apart as they compete for absorption. If you need both minerals, take calcium with lunch and magnesium with dinner, or vice versa, depending on your schedule and other medications. Here's a timing consideration that's specific to diabetics. Some vitamins and minerals can affect blood sugar levels. So understanding these effects helps you time your supplementation for optimal glucose control. Chromium, often marketed to diabetics for blood sugar support, can enhance insulin sensitivity and should be taken with meals to prevent blood sugar from dropping too low. Magnesium can also improve insulin sensitivity, so don't be surprised if your blood sugars run slightly lower when you start supplementation. Monitor your levels more frequently for the first few weeks, and work with your healthcare provider to adjust medications if needed. Vitamin D3 doesn't directly affect blood sugar, but adequate levels improve overall insulin sensitivity over time. This is a gradual effect that develops over months, not days or weeks. Don't expect immediate blood sugar changes from D3, but do expect better overall glucose control as your levels optimize. Let's address the quality issue that's absolutely critical for diabetic seniors. Not all vitamin supplements are created equal, and the quality differences can mean the success or failure of your supplementation program. Many supplements, especially those sold at big box stores or online marketplaces, contain inactive forms of nutrients, inadequate doses, or contaminants that can be particularly problematic for diabetics. For B vitamins, look for active forms like methylcobalamin for B12 rather than cyanocobalamin, and pyridoxal 5-phosphate for B6 rather than pyridoxine. These active forms don't require conversion in your liver and are more readily available for your cells to use. For magnesium, avoid magnesium oxide, which is poorly absorbed and often causes digestive upset. Choose chelated forms like magnesium glycinate or magnesium malate that are bound to amino acids for better absorption. These forms are gentler on your digestive system and more bioavailable. Vitamin D3 should be in oil-based capsules rather than dry powder tablets. The oil enhances absorption of this fat-soluble vitamin and ensures consistent potency. Look for products that specify cholecalciferol, the natural form of vitamin D3, rather than synthetic alternatives. Third-party testing is crucial for seniors because age-related changes in liver and kidney function make you more vulnerable to contaminants. Look for supplements that display certificates of analysis showing testing for heavy metals, microbial contaminants, and potency verification. Organizations like NSF, USP, or Consumer Lab provide independent quality verification that gives you confidence in what you're taking. Now, let's talk about the interactions between vitamins and diabetes medications that your pharmacist might not catch. These interactions can either reduce the effectiveness of your medications or cause unexpected side effects that could be dangerous. Vitamin K can interfere with warfarin and other blood thinnings medications by promoting blood clotting. If you're on these medications, you need consistent vitamin K intake rather than avoiding it completely. Work with your healthcare provider to monitor your INR levels and adjust your medication dose accordingly rather than avoiding beneficial vitamin K2 supplementation. High-dose vitamin E can increase the blood-thinning effects of warfarin and aspirin, potentially leading to bleeding problems. This is another reason to avoid high-dose vitamin E supplements and stick to food sources and low-dose supplementation. B vitamins, especially B6 and folate, can mask B12 deficiency symptoms while allowing the neurological damage to progress. This is why B vitamins should be taken as a complex rather than isolated nutrients, ensuring balanced intake of all the B vitamins together. Magnesium can enhance the effects of blood pressure medications, potentially causing blood pressure to drop too low. This isn't necessarily a problem, but it requires monitoring and possible medication adjustments. Don't stop beneficial magnesium supplementation, but work with your doctor to optimize your medication regimen as your nutrient status improves. Here's something most doctors don't realize about vitamin supplementation in diabetic seniors. Your nutritional needs change as your diabetes progresses and as you age. What worked for you at 65 might not be optimal at 75. Your kidney function, digestive capacity, and medication regimen all evolve over time, requiring adjustments to your supplementation strategy. Early in your diabetes journey, focus might be on blood sugar control and preventing complications. Magnesium, vitamin D3, and chromium might be your priorities. As complications develop, different nutrients become more important. If you develop diabetic nephropathy, kidney-friendly forms of vitamins become crucial. If neuropathy develops, alpha-lipoic acid and specific B vitamins gain importance. Regular reassessment every year or two helps ensure your supplementation strategy evolves with your health status. This includes retesting nutrient levels, reviewing medication changes, and adjusting doses based on any new health developments. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 79, a retired nurse from Vermont, who demonstrates the power of this evolving approach. Eleanor had managed her diabetes well for 15 years, with basic supplementation focused on blood sugar control. When she developed early signs of kidney disease, we shifted her strategy to kidney protective nutrients like CoQ10 and omega-3 fatty acids while reducing potentially problematic nutrients like high-dose vitamin C that can stress compromised kidneys. When Eleanor later developed mild cognitive changes, we added specific brain protective nutrients like phosphatidylserine and acetyl L-carnitine while maintaining her foundational diabetes support nutrients. Her supplementation program evolved with her health needs, providing targeted support for each new challenge while maintaining the benefits of her foundational program. This personalized, evolving approach to supplementation requires partnership with healthcare providers who understand both diabetes management and nutritional science. Unfortunately, many doctors receive minimal training in nutrition and may not appreciate the crucial role vitamins and minerals play in diabetes. Outcomes for seniors. Don't be discouraged if your current healthcare team isn't knowledgeable about therapeutic nutrition. Seek out providers who understand integrative approaches to diabetes care, or consider working with a registered dietitian who specializes in diabetes and seniors. The investment in expert guidance pays enormous dividends in better health, outcomes, and quality of life. Here's what you need to understand about the cost versus benefit equation of quality vitamin supplementation for diabetic seniors. Yes, high-quality supplements cost more than generic drugstore versions, but the health costs of inadequate supplementation far exceed the price difference between good and poor quality products. Consider the cost of diabetic complications that could be prevented or delayed with optimal nutrition. One hospitalization for diabetic ketoacidosis, heart failure, or severe hypoglycemia costs thousands of dollars and represents a major setback in your health and independence. If targeted vitamin supplementation reduces your risk of complications by even 20%, the investment pays for itself many times over. Factor in the improved quality of life from better energy, more stable blood sugars, fewer medication side effects, and reduced risk of falls and infections. These benefits are difficult to quantify financially but represent enormous value in terms of maintaining your independence and enjoying your senior years. The false economy of cheap vitamins becomes apparent when you consider absorption rates and bioavailability. If a cheap magnesium supplement is only 10% absorbed, while a quality chelated form is 60% absorbed, you'd need to take 6 times as much of the cheap version to get equivalent benefits. Factor in the digestive upset from large doses of poorly absorbed minerals, and the cheap option becomes both more expensive and less effective. Let's talk about a monitoring strategy that helps you track the effectiveness of your vitamin supplementation program. Unlike prescription medications where effects are often immediate and obvious, vitamin benefits develop gradually over weeks or months and can be subtle enough to miss without systematic tracking. Keep a simple health journal noting energy levels, sleep quality, mood, and any diabetic symptoms on a weekly basis. Rate each category on a simple scale of 1 to 10. Over time, patterns will emerge that help you connect improvements to specific nutritional interventions. Blood sugar logs become even more valuable when you're optimizing nutrition. Look for patterns like more stable readings, fewer extreme highs and lows, and better post-meal glucose control. These changes often appear before dramatic improvements in hemoglobin. A1C levels and provide early feedback about the effectiveness of your program. Medication requirements can change as nutritional status improves. Some diabetic seniors find they need less medication for blood pressure, blood sugar, or cholesterol as their nutritional foundation strengthens. This doesn't happen overnight and should always be managed in partnership with your healthcare provider. But it's a positive sign that your nutritional program is working. Physical symptoms provide another feedback mechanism. Improvements in muscle cramps, fatigue, sleep quality, or cognitive sharpness often reflect better nutritional status. Changes in wound healing, infection frequency, or recovery from illness can also indicate improved immune function from better nutrition. Laboratory monitoring remains the gold standard for tracking nutritional status over time. Annual testing of vitamin D, B12, magnesium, and iron status helps ensure your supplementation program is achieving target levels without creating imbalances. Here's a reality check about expectations that will help you stick with your vitamin program long enough to see real benefits. Nutritional interventions for chronic conditions like diabetes work slowly and subtly. Don't expect dramatic changes in the first few weeks or even months. The benefits build gradually as your cells repair damage, enzyme systems optimize, and metabolic pathways function more efficiently. Think of vitamin supplementation as a long-term investment in your health rather than a quick fix for immediate problems. The most profound benefits often appear 6 months to 2 years into a consistent program when cellular repair processes have had time to work and nutritional stores have been replenished. Some benefits appear sooner than others. Energy improvements and sleep quality changes might be noticeable within weeks of starting magnesium supplementation. Blood sugar stability improvements might develop over 2 to 3 months as vitamin D levels optimize. Protection against diabetic complications develops over years as antioxidant systems strengthen and inflammatory processes calm down. The key is consistency rather than perfection. Missing a few doses here and there won't derail your program, but stopping and starting repeatedly prevents you from achieving the cumulative benefits that make supplementation worthwhile for diabetic seniors. Before we wrap up, let me address the elephant in the room that affects every diabetic senior's approach to vitamins and supplements. Medicare and most insurance plans don't cover nutritional supplements, even when they're medically necessary for managing chronic conditions like diabetes. This financial barrier prevents many seniors from accessing the nutritional support that could significantly improve their health outcomes and reduce long-term medical costs. The cruel irony is that insurance will pay tens of thousands of dollars for diabetic complications that might have been prevented with proper nutritional support costing a few $100s annually. The system is structured to treat disease rather than prevent it, leaving seniors to navigate the complex world of supplementation on their own, with limited financial resources. This makes it even more important to be strategic about your supplement choices. Focus on the nutrients with the strongest evidence for diabetic seniors rather than trying to cover every possible deficiency. Prioritize quality over quantity, choosing fewer supplements of higher quality rather than many cheap products that may not be effective. Consider the long-term financial impact of better health versus the short-term cost of supplements. Better blood sugar control reduces medication needs over time. Stronger bones prevent expensive fractures. Better immune function reduces infection-related medical costs. Improved energy and cognitive function help maintain independence longer, avoiding costly assisted living arrangements. Look for ways to reduce supplementation costs without sacrificing quality. Many manufacturers offer discounts for seniors or automatic delivery programs that reduce per-unit costs. Some healthcare providers can prescribe medical foods or pharmaceutical-grade nutrients that may be partially covered by insurance for specific conditions. Generic versions of basic nutrients like vitamin D3 and magnesium are often available at reasonable costs without sacrificing quality. Focus your premium spending on specialized nutrients where quality differences are most significant, like CoQ10, alpha-lipoic acid, or chelated minerals. Now let's wrap this up with the practical action plan that can transform your diabetes management starting today. The reality is that managing diabetes after 60 isn't just about medications and blood sugar monitoring. Your body's nutritional foundation determines whether your diabetes medications work effectively, whether complications develop rapidly or slowly, and whether you maintain energy and independence as you age. The 3 vitamins we've discussed today, magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, form the cornerstone of that nutritional foundation. Start with magnesium because it's the most immediate game changer for blood sugar stability and overall energy. Begin with magnesium glycinate, 200 milligrams with dinner, and gradually increase to 300 to 400 milligrams daily divided between meals. You should notice improvements in muscle cramps, sleep quality, and blood sugar stability within 2 to 3 weeks if you're deficient. Add vitamin D3 after getting your 25-hydroxy vitamin D level tested. Most diabetic seniors need 3,000 to 5,000 international units daily, but your dose should be based on your actual blood level, not guesswork. Take it with a meal containing healthy fats, and always pair it with vitamin K2 for optimal calcium metabolism. Incorporate vitamin K2 MK7, 100 to 180 micrograms daily, with your largest meal to maximize absorption. This works synergistically with vitamin D3 to ensure calcium goes into your bones where it belongs, rather than your arteries where it causes problems. The timing sequence matters for maximum benefit. Take your B-complex and vitamin D3 with breakfast for energy support throughout the day. Take magnesium with dinner for better sleep and overnight muscle recovery. Take vitamin K2 with your largest meal, usually lunch or dinner, for optimal absorption. Quality is non-negotiable for diabetic seniors. Your aging digestive system and medication interactions make you more vulnerable to poorly absorbed or contaminated products. Invest in third-party tested supplements from reputable manufacturers, even if they cost more initially. The absorption and safety benefits far outweigh the price difference. Monitor your progress systematically rather than hoping for dramatic changes. Keep a simple weekly log of energy levels, sleep quality, blood sugar patterns, and any diabetic symptoms. Look for gradual improvements over months rather than expecting immediate transformations. Work with healthcare providers who understand both diabetes management and nutritional science. If your current team dismisses the importance of targeted nutrition for diabetics, seek out providers who appreciate the role of vitamins and minerals in optimizing diabetes outcomes for seniors. Get appropriate testing to guide your supplementation rather than guessing what you need. Request comprehensive nutrient panels including red blood cell magnesium, methylmalonic acid for B12 status, 25-hydroxy vitamin D, and complete iron studies. Retest annually to ensure you're maintaining optimal levels without creating imbalances. Adjust your supplementation as your health needs evolve. What works at 65 might need modification at 75 as your kidney function, medication regimen, and diabetic complications change. Regular reassessment ensures your nutritional program continues supporting your health optimally. Budget for quality supplementation as a health investment rather than an optional expense. The cost of preventing one diabetic complication far exceeds the annual cost of targeted nutritional support. Consider the long-term financial benefits of maintaining independence, reducing medication needs, and avoiding hospitalizations. Be patient with the process while maintaining consistency. Nutritional benefits for chronic conditions like diabetes develop gradually over months and years as cellular repair processes work and metabolic pathways optimize. The most profound benefits often appear after 6 months to 2 years of consistent supplementation. Here's the critical point that changes everything about how you approach vitamin supplementation as a diabetic senior. This isn't about adding more pills to your already complex medication regimen. It's about providing your body with the essential nutrients it needs to make your existing diabetes management more effective while protecting you from the complications that steal independence and quality of life. Your diabetes medications work better when your nutritional foundation is solid. Your blood sugars stabilize more predictably when key nutrients like magnesium and vitamin D are optimized. Your risk of heart disease, kidney damage, and nerve problems decreases when you provide your body with the protective nutrients it needs to repair and defend against diabetic damage. The supplement industry has confused and overwhelmed diabetic seniors with products that promise miracle cures and dramatic results. The reality is much simpler and more powerful. 3 key nutrients, taken consistently in proper doses and forms, provide the foundation for better diabetes management and healthier aging. This approach isn't about replacing medical care or discontinuing necessary medications. It's about optimizing the nutritional environment in which your medical treatments work, giving them the best possible chance to keep you healthy and independent as you age. The choice is yours, but the research is clear. Diabetic seniors with optimal levels of magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 have better blood sugar control, fewer complications, stronger bones, healthier hearts, and more energy than those who rely on medications alone. The investment in targeted, quality supplementation pays dividends in better health outcomes and improved quality of life for years to come. Remember that diabetes doesn't have to define your senior years or limit your independence. With the right nutritional foundation supporting your medical care, you can maintain energy, prevent complications, and continue enjoying the activities and relationships that make life meaningful. The nutrients we've discussed today aren't magic bullets, but they're powerful tools that can significantly improve your diabetes outcomes when used correctly. Combined with appropriate medical care, blood sugar monitoring, and healthy lifestyle choices, targeted supplementation gives you the best possible chance to age well, despite having diabetes. Take control of your nutritional health today. Start with testing to identify your specific needs. Choose quality supplements in forms your body can actually use, and work with knowledgeable healthcare providers who understand the crucial role nutrition plays in diabetes management for seniors. Your future self will thank you for making these investments in your health today. Better blood sugar control, more energy, stronger bones, and reduced risk of complications are all within reach when you provide your body with the nutritional support it needs to thrive despite diabetes. The 3 vitamins we've covered today represent the foundation of optimal nutrition for diabetic seniors. But they're not the end of the story. As research continues to reveal the complex interactions between nutrition and diabetes, new opportunities for improvement will emerge. Stay informed, work with knowledgeable providers, and remain open to adjusting your approach as new evidence develops. What matters most is taking the first step today, whether that's getting your vitamin D level tested, starting magnesium supplementation, or finding a healthcare provider who appreciates the importance of nutrition in diabetes care. Every positive step moves you closer to better health and independence in your senior years. The power to improve your diabetes outcomes through targeted nutrition is in your hands. Use the information from today's discussion to make informed decisions about your health. Invest in quality supplements that actually work, and partner with healthcare providers who support your commitment to optimal wellness despite diabetes. Your diabetes journey doesn't end with medication and monitoring. It expands to include the nutritional strategies that can transform how you feel, how well your treatments work, and how successfully you age, despite having a chronic condition that affects millions of seniors. The research is compelling, the benefits are substantial, and the time to act is now. Take charge of your nutritional health and discover how the right vitamins, taken correctly and consistently, can change everything about your diabetes management and your quality of life as a senior. Which of these 3 game-changing vitamins will you start with first? And what's been your biggest challenge in managing your diabetes nutrition as you've gotten older?